Good afternoon, dear students. Previous class we started to discuss about the peninsular plateau. The peninsular plateau. See, it is a tableland and composed of the world crystalline, igneous and metamorphic rocks. So it was formed due to the breaking and drifting of the Gondwana land. So that's what, dear students. So it is a part of the oldest landmass in the world. Peninsular Plateau, it is a part of the oldest landmass in the world. The plateau has broad and shallow valleys and of two broad divisions. Getting to students. So the Peninsular Plateau has broad and shallow valleys and rounded hills. So this plateau consists of two broad divisions, the Central Highlands and the Deccan Plateau. So there are two divisions, the Central Highlands, not Highlands, Highlands, and the Deccan Plateau. Getting now? So there are two broad divisions such as the Central Highlands and the Deccan Plateau. See, the part of the peninsular plateau lying to the north of the Narmada River and covering a major area of the Malwa Plateau that is known as Central Highland. So Central Highland ಯಾವ area cover ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳ, so it is actually lying to the part of the peninsular plateau lying to the north of the Narmada River north of the Narmada River and covering major areas of the Malwa Plateau. Covering major areas of the Malwa Plateau. And this is actually called as Central Highlands. Getting these students, the peninsular plateau lying the north of the Narmada River and covering major areas of the Malwa Plateau, and this is well known as the Central Highlands. The Central Highlands. See, the Vindhyan range, the Vindhya range that is bounded by the Central Highlands on the south and the Aravali on the northwest. Getting dear students. The Vindhya range is bounded by the Vindhya range is bounded by the Vindhyan range is bounded by Central Highlands okay. Then on the south and the Aravalis on the northwest. On the south, islands are is actually on the south, and Aravalli is at the northeast. Aravalli is on the northwest. Getting now? So the Vindhyan range is bounded by the central highlands, the south, and Aravallis on the northwest. And what about the further? The further westward extension gradually merges with the sandy and rocky desert of Rajasthan. So the further westward extension gradually merges with the sandy and rocky desert of Rajasthan. So, the flow of the rivers draining this region, namely the Chambal. I think you all of you heard about Chambal Kanive. Understood now? So, the flow of the rivers draining this region, namely the Chambal, the Sindh, the Betwa, and Ken is from southwest to northwest. So these are some of the rivers draining this region, namely the Chambal, the Sindh, and the Betwa and Ken is from southwest to northeast, thus indicating the slope. So these are actually the flow of the rivers draining this region, such as the Chambal, the Sindh, the Betwa, and Ken is from southwest to northwest. So that's what that indicating the slope. The central highlands are wider in the west but narrower in the east. Understood now? The central highlands wider in the west but narrower in the east. The eastward extensions of this plateau are locally known as Bundelkhand and Bundelkhand. Bundelkhand, understood now. So the eastward extensions of this plateau, so locally known as Bundelkhand. The Chota Nagpur Plateau marks the further eastward extension drained by Damodar River. Drained by Damodar River. So this is about the brief descriptions about the Central Highland. Now let us see the Deccan Plateau. The Deccan Plateau. The Deccan Plateau. See, the Deccan Plateau is a triangular landmass. Is a triangular landmass. Getting this, students? The Deccan Plateau is a triangular landmass. Why? It actually look like triangular shape that lies to the south of the river Narmada. The Deccan Plateau lies south of the Narmada river getting now. So the Deccan Plateau lies to the south of the Narmada river and Satpura range flanks its broad base in the north while the Malwa. Understood? See, The Kaimur Hills and the Michael Range form its eastern extensions. So please keep it in your mind. Actually, the Deccan Plateau is a triangular landmass that lies to the south of the river Narmada, and the Satpur Range flanks its broad base in the north, while the Maldives, the Kaimur Hills and the Michael Range form its eastern extensions, especially the Mahadeva, Kaimur Hills and then Michael Range that forms its eastern extensions. Locate these hills and ranges in the physical map of India, so you can try yourself. The Deccan Plateau is higher in the west and slopes gently eastwards. Getting dear students. So the Deccan Plateau higher in the west and slopes gently towards, especially eastwards, gently eastwards. An extension of plateau is also visible in the northeast locally, which is known as Meghalaya. Understood? So, an extension of the plateau is also visible in the northeast, that is actually known as the Meghalaya, Corby, Hanglong Plateau, and North Kachar Hills. So these are actually the local names: Meghalaya, Kirby Hanglong Plateau, and North Kachar Hills. It is separated by a fault from the Chota Nagpur Plateau. So it is separated by a fault from the Chota Nagpur Plateau. So three prominent hill ranges from the west to east are the Garo, the Kasi and the Jaintia hills. So these are the three prominent hill ranges in this Deccan Plateau, such as the Garo, the Kasi and Jaintia hills. So these are the actually the three main prominent hill ranges in this Deccan Plateau. Got it, dear students? Now let us discuss about the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. The Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. See, the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats mark the western and the eastern edges of the Deccan Plateau respectively. So the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats that marks the edges of the Deccan Plateau respectively in the east and west. So the Western Ghats lie parallel to the western coast. They are continuous and can be crossed through passes only. Getting now. So the Western Ghats lies parallel to the western coast. They are continuous and can be crossed through passes only. So, for example, Thal, Bor, and the Pal Ghats. Understood? Thal, Bor, and the Pal Ghats. And the Western Ghats are higher than the Eastern Ghats. So please keep it in your mind. So the Western Ghats are higher than the Eastern Ghats. So their average elevation is 900 to 1600 meters. An average elevation is 900 to 1600 meters as against 600 meters of the Eastern Ghats. It is so high. So the Western Ghats are higher than the Eastern Ghats. Understood now? So the Eastern Ghats stretch from the Mahanadi Valley to the Nilgiris in the south. The Eastern Ghats stretch from the Mahanadi Valley to the Nilgiri hills in the south. The Eastern Ghats are discontinuous and irregular and dissected by rivers draining into the Bay of Bengal. The Eastern Ghats are discontinuous and irregular. Understood now? So, and dissected by rivers draining into the Bay of Bengal. Dissected. The Western Ghats cause orographic rain by facing the rain bearing moist winds to rise along the western slopes of the Ghats. The Western Ghats are known by different local names. The Western Ghats are known by different local names. The height of the Western Ghats progressively increases from north to south. The height of the Western Ghats, so that progressively increases from north to south, that's increase. The Western Ghats are including some of the highest peaks also. For example, Anaimudi. Anaimudi, it is one of the highest peak which is located in the Western Ghats. It is about 2695 meters. 2695 meters. And then the another one, Dodda Betta. Dodda Betta. So it is about 2637 meters. 2637 meters. And the one more, that is Mahendragiri. So the height of the Mahendragiri is 1501 meters. So these are, so actually the Anaimudi and Doddapetta, so these are located in the Western Ghats, and the Mahendragiri, the height of the Mahendragiri is 1501 meter, so which is located in the Eastern Ghats. Understood now? So the Mahendragiri is the highest peak in the Eastern Ghats, and Chevron Hills and Jowdi Hills are located to the southeast of the Eastern Ghats. Chevron Hills and Jowdi Hills are located to the southeast of the Eastern Ghats. Getting these students. So the Eastern Ghats also including some of the hill stations which are so famous, especially such as Udagamandalam, understood, which is called as well known as Ooty, and the Kodaikanal. The Ooty and Kodaikanal lie in the Eastern Ghats. So the Ooty actually, the another name of this Udaga Mandalam and Kodaikanal lie in the Eastern Ghats. So these are the famous hill stations of the Eastern Ghats. See, one of the distinct features of this peninsular plateau, it is the black soil. It is the black soil and the area known as Deccan Plateau. So the most of the peninsular plateau. So it has the black soil and is well known as the Deccan Plateau. The Deccan Plateau. See, this is of volcanic origin, hence the rocks are igneous. So this is of volcanic origin, hence the rocks are igneous. Actually, these rocks are have denuded over time and are responsible for the formation of black soil. So these rocks, the igneous rocks, have denuded over time and they are responsible for the formation of black soil. The Aravali Hills lie on the western and northwestern margins of the peninsular plateau. Getting now? So the Aravalli Hills lie on western and northwestern margins of the peninsular plateau. So these are highly eroded hills and are found as broken hills. Getting dear students. So the Haravali hills are highly eroded hills and are found as broken hills. They extend from Gujarat to Delhi in southwest northeast direction. So the Aravalli Hills are extended from Gujarat to Delhi in southwest and northeast direction. I hope dear students you are able to follow this topic. And the next class we are going to discuss about the Indian desert, the coastal plains and the highlands. So which are the another remaining the important physiographic division of India. Thank you. Have a nice day.